my channel. So today I'm going to let you know how my HSG appointment went, and I have to say it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I did say that I was going to kind of try and vlog, but the day flew by and I had no time to record it for you guys, and I was really nervous in the morning. I was too scared to even talk on camera. So yeah, it was on Tuesday, and as I said, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I went into the hospital and they just like checked me and all that kind of stuff, and we have like, it's in the assisted conception suite area, so it's really nice. It's a really nice kind of calm area. It's completely away from the other kind of side of the hospital, and you sit in there and it's all like nice and cozy, all that kind of stuff. And I usually get taken through into the other end, but the women had came round from a completely different area, and I was like, alright, and I kind of knew that I was going to be going to a different side because the doctor had mentioned it to me before, and I thought, oh, it's fine, Matthew can just wait in the waiting area. But it was so far away from the waiting area that I was like, I didn't know if Matthew could come with me or if Matthew had to stay in the waiting area. But when I went through, it was like a normal kind of area where you would go for like kind of scans and stuff. And I walked in and they put me in a little room, and I was like, Matthew could have easily sat in here with me. And I wish that I had asked, because I just assumed that because they're shouting at me that they're not, because they looked at Matthew as if like, why aren't you coming, sort of thing. So it was fine. He sat waiting. So I went into the room and they put me in a gown and a little hat, and I had to put like the little things over my shoes. I was like, I didn't realise this was going to be happening. I thought they were just going to be saying, take your bottom half off and lie in the bed. So they put me in there, and I sat there for like 25 minutes because I don't know, I'm guessing other people were in, and I just felt like I was getting more and more like, oh my god, is this going to be so sore? Like, I don't know what to expect from this. And then the doctor came in and she spoke to me. It was a different doctor who was going to be doing the procedure with me, and she came in and she was like, do you understand what's going to be happening, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and she asked me what the name of it was, and as you know, I don't know how to pronounce it. I call it a HSG test because it is technically that. But she said that, and she brought a student nurse in with her. She was asking me if it was fine if she could come in with me, and I was like, it's absolutely fine. I don't mind student people coming in, they're learning things every day. So she told me about everything. She asked me if I was allergic to anything, all that kind of stuff. And then she was like, we'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll take you through. And just at that 2 minutes, I was like, oh my god, like, this is me going in for this thing that I've hyped myself up for. I was like, oh no, like, this is going to be so bad. So I walked in and there was like a senior doctor. She used the one who, I'm guessing the doctor who'd done it for me was kind of still getting used to everything, because she had to kind of guide her where to go, all that kind of stuff when the scan machine was in. But she came in, and there was another doctor, and then the student doctor, and the doctor who was doing the procedure on me, and they were all really nice. They kept me nice and calm because it's a big thing for someone who hasn't had things like this done, and because they know that you're going to be feeling a little bit of pain, that it could be nerve-wracking for people, and it was nerve-wracking for me anyway. But as soon as I went in, I did feel really calm because they had made me feel at ease. So they asked you just to lie down, bearing in mind I have the gown on and it's still opening at the back, so I'm having to walk like holding the gown shut at the back. I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I hope no one else walks down the corridor. But no one was there, so thank goodness. So they asked me to empty my bladder, all that kind of stuff, lay down, and then they just started the procedure, and they do the whole scanning thing first. They scanned in me, and on my left side they could see, well, I noticed it straight away, it was a cyst. But to me, I was like, what is that thing? I didn't know if it was something to do with just your insides, but I did notice it straight away. And it wasn't until they had said to me, oh, you have a cyst on your left ovary, and I was like, okay. But I'm not just saying like a small cyst this size. This cyst was like this size. It was, I think it was like 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters. I know that's not that big, but it's kind of still big when you're seeing it on a scan anyway. And she was like, it might be nothing to worry about. And she had said, I'd asked if I'd had scans before, and I'd obviously had mentioned that yes, I have had scans before, and that was because they did think I had cysts on my ovaries, but at that time there was nothing because I was taking the pill, and the pill had helped with like irregular periods and all that kind of thing, irregular periods, and it just helped my body, and it helped me with cramps and stuff, so it made me feel better. And I'm guessing that was obviously what made that go away, was taking the pill. And they did say to me, when you take this, it might help anything inside. So because I've not been on the pill for nearly 2 years, then this has obviously had the time to grow back, and it's just still growing probably, and yeah, we've got that. So as I said, it's like in the scan it looked like it was like this size, like that size, and she was like, don't worry about it because people can still have babies. And I was like, I know, it's fine, like I'm not worrying about anything. I'll worry about things when like anything else comes up if it's bad. So they went over to my right side, and like that's left, right. They went over to my right side, and there was a weird little kind of thing on the top of my right ovary, and she didn't know really what it was, so she took a picture of it, she measured it, but it was really small. I would say it's probably like 1 by 2 centimeters, and they said that they were going to do some bloods just to get that one checked because they didn't know what that one was, but they couldn't see any eggs like showing up on my left side, but on my right side it was showing up. As I've said, my right side has a lot more eggs in it than my left side does, so you can see them all just sitting there. But they scanned my womb, all that kind of stuff. It shows you where your womb is. It's so weird when you're watching it because you can see where everything is. It's so strange, like even though you're not a doctor you kind of recognise where everything is. And so they scanned the rest, and they were like, we're going to put the balloon thing in, and I was like, oh my god, this is the part I've been dreading. So they obviously put the thing in and then open it up, but the thing wasn't inserting right into, I think it was supposed to go into my uterus area, and they had to just sit it on my cervix because the higher up doctor had to help, because it just wasn't going in. She said I had a tilted womb, which kind of is a normal thing for people. I'm pretty sure my mum has had that problem before. So she was like, it's not going to go right in. So I was like, that's fine, like what does that mean? And she was like, we're just going to sit it on your cervix, it will still make the ink go through. So but when they were prodding about, the student nurse is like at my head, and she's like, are you okay? Because I think she kind of seen by my face, I was like, this is getting like really uncomfortable. It was like self-inflicted cramp, and it was horrible, but it wasn't to the point where I couldn't handle it. It wasn't even sore. Like I remember lying there like, my periods must be really bad if I can handle this pain. So they put it in, and then the nurse comes over and she starts putting the dye in. The right side just goes straight through, and then my left side, it kind of took a while because the cyst was in the way. They couldn't really see where it was going, so it was running down, and then it was supposed to come back up, but she did say it would take a little minute to kind of get through the whole system. So it went right down, and then it eventually kind of went up and then just shooted out again. So she was like, everything's fine, your tubes are fine, it's just that this cyst and this other little thing on your right side, we don't know what it is. So we're going to take some bloods and just get everything checked over for you. And I was like, that's absolutely fine. So they cleaned me up, all that kind of stuff, and I went back to the little room, and the student nurse came in and took my blood, and I couldn't have felt more at ease. It was so nice to just have a nice bunch of doctors just there, and it was so calming because they were all women as well, and I feel like that's why they done it, because that's why I probably felt at ease, because it was all women that were doing it. It wasn't like there was going to be a man coming in. Obviously I don't mind men doctors, but like when it's someone going down there, you don't really want a man unless you're having a baby. You're like, get this thing out of me. But yeah, it was just so relaxing and calm, and I didn't feel nervous at all in the whole procedure. I think because as my mind just got so hyped up with everything that I just got so scared about going in. But as soon as I was in, I was absolutely fine, and the pain went away as soon as they took the balloon out. So I went back to the room and I cleaned myself up, and I put my clothes back on, got my blood taken, and it would take about 2 or 3 weeks for my bloods to come back, which is roughly when my next hospital appointment is, and that's when I'll get told what they are going to do about maybe my cyst, or maybe tell me what's happened with the right side. And well, not maybe, they will tell me what's happened with the right side. But it looks good, everything. My tubes are clear. I have not to take my letrozole this month, and it was just because they don't know what this growth is basically. So they want to see me on my 14th of November appointment. They're going to scan me, check everything inside, make sure everything's okay, and maybe check to see if anything's changed, because it could be the letrozole that's just maybe taking its toll on my body now. And I had thought about maybe saying to the doctor, like, am I best still taking them, or will I stop them? And she had told me not to take them. So I will not be taking letrozole this month, but I will maybe take a pregnancy test at the end of the month, just to check, or just before my period, just to check if I am or not pregnant. I took a test with me because it asked you to take a test with you, but they didn't ask for it, so it was fine. And because obviously they're going to scan you anyway to see if there's anything there before they put the dye in. but that came up negative, so I'm guessing I won't be pregnant this month, and yeah, I won't be pregnant if it's not coming up. But yeah, I'll take one at the end of the month and I'll record it and I'll put it up on here, and unless I start my periods early. But that was another strange thing as well. They were like, oh, you'll get a little bit of bleeding 24 hours later. It has been nearly a day and a half later and I still have nothing, and the dye hasn't come out because I don't think they put a lot in me, and I did have a really sore stomach yesterday, like really painful. They gave me 4 antibiotics and they were huge. They were like this size. Like, I don't mind taking tablets, but they were huge. Even the student nurse was like, do you want me to help you there? And I was like, no, it's fine, I'll just try. And I took 2 each time. So I took them, but I think that was the side effect of that, because like my stomach was in agony when I left. I was like, Matthew, we need to get home fast because I need to just rest and just hopefully this will go away. But I was working yesterday, so in work yesterday I was like doped up in painkillers because the pain in my stomach was really sore. It wasn't even like, it was like a pain, like trapped wind sort of pain. If you've had trapped wind, it felt like that. So but when I took 2 painkillers and it kind of went away, so, and it's been away since, so I'm guessing that was one of the side effects of it. So I feel fine. I feel completely fine now, and I feel like an idiot for getting myself so nervous about this whole procedure, but it was absolutely fine. And I would probably say to people, if they were going in for it, it's not even that sore. Unless you've got a really low pain threshold, then it will be a wee bit sore for you and you don't like cramp. But I don't like cramp, and I managed to get it done because it was the mildest of cramps. But it was just so weird. I remember sitting at night and I looked at Matthew and I was like, I just can't go over the way the cramp just came on all of a sudden. It's like self-inflicted cramp. You don't like having cramp, but it's self-inflicted. But it was, I'm so glad I got the test done, and I'm so glad that everything, my tubes are fine, but I'm just worried about the whole cysts and seeing what the results are going to be on my right side, because they know what the left side is anyway, but they just want to check everything. So that's why the tests will take about 3 weeks to get back, because they are so going to be so in depth with everything, and just make sure everything's fine, and they'll be looking up everything else to see if I can conceive naturally. But I'm, in a way, I'm kind of excited for the next part, just to see what they're going to offer me or what they're going to recommend that we do next, because if they're asking me to stop my letrozole, I want to know what the next part will be, and I want to know what they'll want to do. But I think they might do the personal insemination because Matthew's completely fine, he's above average, so I'm guessing that they'll do that, and then if not, then it'll be on to the next step, which is IVF, and we'll get that free on our NHS. And if that doesn't work, then we will go privately. We don't mind saving up and going privately and having our own little baby. So I know that if it came to like 10 years in line and I couldn't have a baby, then I would probably adopt or maybe go through surrogacy or something like that. But for now, I want to try for my own little baby, and Matthew says the exact same thing. We were coming in a car back home and he looked at me and he was like, I never wanted kids until I met you, so I want us to have our own baby. And I just felt so sad because I was like, I want us to have a baby as well, but I'm scared in case it's me that can't have the baby. So yeah, fingers crossed everything's fine, and the next appointment will be here before we know it. And I'm kind of annoyed that it's a wee bit further away because it was supposed to be on the 7th, but it's on the 14th. But yeah, send me positive vibes and make sure everything's fine. I'm so nervous for the results now, but it'll probably be nothing, hopefully. But yeah, that's how everything went, and I feel fine, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So if you're going to be getting the HSG slash, put the word here again, procedure done, then do not worry about it. It's absolutely fine, and it's totally worth it to make sure that you're fine inside if you're trying for a baby and you've been struggling for a while. And yeah, if you like watching my videos, please like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to put your bell on, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.